Hi, my name is Chloe Gazorik, and this is my persuasive speech. Here are my note cards, and this is my audience.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What would you do with the extra day off of school? Would you catch up on sleep, work on homework, study, or even job shadow? I know I personally could get many things done with the extra day off of school. I believe school districts should have a 4-day school week. Not only would this benefit students, but school districts as well. A 4-day school week will help increase students' attendance, save school districts money, and increase teacher retention. One benefit of a 4-day school week is that schools have found out that students are happier and want to attend school. According to 4 studies to know on 4-day school weeks, having a 4-day school week improves student attendance and academic achievement. Having this extra day off will not only help students with their academics, but will help reduce their stress, causing them to be ready and want to attend school. Some argue that shorter weeks will still affect student learning. There is a research that shows lower math and reading scores, but these districts have not yet adjusted to longer instructional time. According to 4 studies to know on 4-day school weeks, the significant drops in math and reading achievement were concentrated in districts that had the least instructional time, after moving from a 5-day to a 4-day weekly schedule. A study by Paul Thompson, a research professor at Oregon State University, found the average school day lasts 6 hours and 54 minutes, and a 4-day school week lasts 7 hours and 45 minutes. He also found no significant difference in schools between a 4-day and a 5-day school week. He found out that if you adjust your instructional time similar to a 5-day school week, then student learning won't be affected. Another benefit of a 4-day school week is that this will help cut costs for school districts. More and more school districts are struggling with their budgets, and there has been a county decrease in school funding by local, state, and federal revenue, yet an increase in expenses. According to 4 studies to know on 4-day school weeks, school districts have saved an average of 2% of their overall budget. Closing school buildings for at least 1 day per week will help with maintenance and upkeep. This also decreases student transportation needs for buses and the need for substitute teachers. All of these things help reduce a school district's expenses. Some still argue, though, that moving to a 4-day school week will reduce costs as the buildings are still open and used for staff. Also, the majority of school staff are salary and not hourly. They are paid the same whether students are there 4 or 5 times a week, 4 or 5 days a week. Paul Thompson also studied the savings associated with a 4-day school week. Right here are graphs that show the result of his research. In total expenses, the average school district decreased its overall expenses by 4.4%, as shown in Graph A. Graph B shows a decrease of 2.6% in fungible expenses, which include non-teacher staff salaries, equipment, etc. Graph C shows a 3.2% decrease in instructional expenses that show teacher salaries, supplies, etc. Graph D shows a 3.6% decrease in support services expenses, including technology, special education, etc. This shows that having a 4-day school week will help school districts save money. Finally, 4-day school weeks will help benefit school districts by increasing teacher retention. According to the article Embracing the 4-Day School Week, we're seeing massive adoptions in places like Missouri, Texas, and Arkansas. Using the 4-day school week and teacher burnout is a way to help with teacher shortages and teacher burnout that have come out of the pandemic or even started before the pandemic. Higher teacher retention equals a higher quality of a teacher. Although a higher quality of a teacher benefits students, there are still concerns for parents trying to find childcare. Even school districts that are 5 days a week have scheduled days off that are inconsistent for professional development, training, etc., in which parents would still have to try and find childcare. So a 4-day school week with a consistent day off would actually make scheduling way easier. All this information is so important to consider when deciding if a school district should switch from a 5-day to a 4-day school week. Again, think about how much you could accomplish with a 4-day school week. Although some have concerns, the benefits greatly outweigh the negatives. Improving student attendance, cutting costs for school districts, and increasing teacher retention is way too important to not make this change. You could also go to your local school board and bring this idea to them to help make this change happen. This concludes my persuasive speech. Here are my note cards, and this is my audience.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.